can start off. Awesome. So, guys, welcome to another Zoom session where we'll be looking at what happened last week, what will be happening this week as we wrap up the August holiday. Then, because this is my last week to be sharing Zoom sessions as I go for break also. So, let me prepare something here. Remember last week we had trades, yeah? So those are the trades I will really want to look at. We had good trades on, was it GBP? We had good trades on USD JPY. We had good trades on also GBP USD. In our live group, we had these things running, yeah? So first, let's have a disclaimer. Let's have this disclaimer, very important. For those who are new, this is a live session that is conducted via my phone, which is what I trade with and what I analyze with, purely phone trading. So never allow anyone to tell you that you can't phone trade. Actually, that's the future of trading. Those who are in our WhatsApp group, they know what I mean by that. So, so let me share my screen. Yeah, so let me read out the disclaimer. So this is this 50 Global Zoom presentation is for educational purposes only. Trading in the Forex market involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. So I think that's clear enough, yeah. And so let's go to our charts directly and see, because GU is presenting a good opportunity here. I hope everyone can see my chart. Guys, remember, I've been talking about, if you guys can review our Zoom sessions, I've been saying GU is headed to 3230. Out of this, ROE, I think most of you know this arrow. I drew up Kitambo. I have been saying GU is headed to 3230. And as you can see, yeah, on H4, it's clear vizuri, yeah? That arrow on my left, this arrow, I've been pointing out that GU is going to 3230. And yeah, look at where we are, 3230. That's where we are right now. So, uzuri, like, personally, I love, most people who understand their currency pairs, they'll tell you they love shorting or longing a pair. Personally, I love shorting GBP USD. I don't know, for some reason, I love shorting. I think it's because of Brexit. During Brexit, I was long on GBP USD and I blew my account. So from then on, from 2016, I shifted now to I think I got into the whole shorting the pound. Yeah? Anyway, so I'm really looking at opportunities to short GU right now in this live trading session, but let's look for some good confirmations. In the meantime, let's look at the past trades we've had. Yeah, starting with, this is a trade we had juicy. No, this was on Friday. Those guys in our live WhatsApp group can remember. Jiga, you remember this trade, yeah? Where I was asking guys, what do you guys see? You guys can remember this? Yeah, Devesh?
Yes, Robert.
Yes, can you guys remember when I talked about shorting GU on Friday, intraday? And I was asking you guys, can you see the candlestick?
Yeah, I recall it. You called it pretty early. Yeah.
Yes. So this was what I was calling, yeah, and this was the trade. So GU, of course, at this point in time during that session, it had given that pattern. We had that doji, and then they sparked a little bit high and then dropped from that railroad tracks, because that's what we can see over here. That's why, as you can see, I hope you guys can see my gallery before the before chart, right? When actually I got into this trade, but I had anticipated them to. If you can see that 143 was another resistance area I was looking at GU to hit. So as you can see the horizontal line. So before, as you can see, it did spike kidogo to that high, but never touched 43, but it did. And then, yeah, it formed that railroad tracks and the queue was there that we are going short. So what happened later? 50 pips were booked, yeah? So simple. This was basically a follow-up to, we had, on Thursday, we had a session where I talked about my trading rules. Those guys who have the Zoom session, they can refer to it, yeah? Where I was looking at price action, support and resistance, and how you can use candlesticks to get into entries. Yeah? So as you can see, that entry was purely based on many, but of course it had other confirmations that we were looking at. So that was GU, and we trade, those who took with me, this trade banked, that trade banked Nini. That trade banked 50 pips. Yeah, let me change to my other account. So yeah, so as you can see, this is the trade that we had, and it booked. That's the trade, yeah? That 130 to 3080, yeah, and we booked that. As you can see from the swap, this trade held over the weekend, yeah. As you can see, that swap of negative 0.21. So and 50 pips, easy. And I think Giga was in this trade long, and that was an awesome setup, because we were looking for opportunities to go long up until that 230. So I'm actually looking at another, as you can see, there's a candlestick pattern happening on M15. Yeah, you can see that hammer right at where I wanted them to go, that 230. So I'm looking at another pass to the high, wapande kidogo, maybe to that 240, ama that 235, and then I'll drop with them. That's an intraday setup I'm looking at, yeah, right now in this session. But in the meantime, as you can see, euro already imeanza shanza could drop, but it needs to give a second pass also before it gives the whole look. So maybe by 1730, we'll be looking at that candlestick pattern to see. In the meantime, let's look at the other pairs that we analyzed last week and see how they played out. So USD CHF, guys, remember this trade, we've always had that swing trade on it, yeah? So from that 235, we were looking at opportunities to bank 200 pips, sell, blah, 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 and it hit the target level, 90.38, exactly to the pip, yeah? So if we go back to the chart, then we should be able to see it that way, that indeed that trade really did come to that, yeah? USD CHF, look at that in the morning, yeah? It did touch 38, right? Which was the initial target, yeah? As you can see. So 200 pips, yeah, that was a good run on that one. Now let's look at another pair, USD JPY, right? Which I was short also, which was basically a market maker method, where like after every rise, you expect at some point market makers will be booking profits. And I think I've been explaining this, yeah, with regard to the same, where like the some if you're looking at swing traders, which is why I remember, guys, I've been talking about swing trading, yeah, why in most cases, you really need to choose your system. Don't follow what someone else is saying. follow your trading plan. If you're a swing trader, hold on to your swing trading. If you're a day trader, hold on to your day trading. If you're a position trader, hold on to that. Because as you can see, USD JPY, right? We had a really good entry on the same 10700 with anticipation to drop up until 10610, right? So how did that trade play out? Let's see from remember this is something I'll be covering I think on Thursday. I'll be covering a trading journal where you really need to have some of these outlooks, my screenshots, how you journal your trades, so that you can review them and eventually build up something in our system we call flashcards, yeah, where you can look at your past trades, how you took them, the bad trades, the good trades, and review them for a better nini. To increase your mindset also on the same. So remember, that's the trade we had. That's the entry we had at 10700. That was the projection. We anticipated USD JPY to drop up until 10610. Yeah. So let's see what happened. As you can see, actually yesterday I adjusted this on my another account where we had that trade go to 105.95. Yeah, so it was 100 pips, right? This trade has had almost, I think, apart from the second pass, yeah, which you can see from the candlesticks on the second leg of the M, that double top, the second M, yeah. You can see the first leg had a 0 drawdown. The other one ilikuwa na drawdown ya 2 pips, and then as you can see, it dropped all the way. So this is an important thing to note when I was insisting that don't take trades just because, you know, in simple, follow your trading plan, right? Follow what it is that your analysis tells you to do, so that if it's invalidated, then you go back and learn from it, right? So that's basically something I would really advocate for. So that's USD JPY. As you can see, it dropped, and that was a good peep run. So yeah, those are some of the trades I really wanted to look at, so that you guys can understand. And also, as you can see, I've drawn up a 105.30. Yeah, that's an area, as you can see on my left, right? Because in trading we say look left, trade right. Yeah, so you can see from my left there's that whole market, whole major support that we are looking at. If we look at H4, then it will give us another outlook also. That's an area we're looking at. So they've tested that area, which is also falling in line with what we were looking at. Remember also, Euro USD, we've always wanted Euro USD to head to 1925. Let's see whether Euro USD got to there. Look at that. It's hit. Remember this key arrow, all right? This arrow from some time back, and this trade, we really wanted them to go to 1925, which is why last week, you guys, you remember I was saying the reason why I walked out of a trade, because I believe something was happening. It's like the market makers were trying, it was really not bearish, but market makers were trying to send a message that we didn't have such a big move. That's why you're not in substantial profit, because we are changing the trend. So remember, those guys, kindly review back our Zoom sessions from last week, and you'll see how I explained why I got out of this trade. As you can see, look at that candlestick forming. On H1, let's see how that candlestick is forming. That's a good candle that is coming round. Yes, so as you can see, venye tu nimesema, guys, we really wanted Euro USD to rise up until 1925, and as you can see, it's hit 1925 today. So that's basically, now we're looking at opportunities now for either today or tomorrow, most likely tomorrow. I'm looking at opportunities now to short Akina Euro USD, GBP USD, USD CHF. GBP USD, I'm looking to short it for around 400, 500 pips, yeah, or even 600 pips. So I will have to really do that outlook with Zuri based on how they close the candle today, the daily candle. That will be a good indicator to know what the market makers are planning. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, you may drop. Okay. was sour. I really wanted them to make a second pass on that, yeah, so that I can have a good entry. So I'm still waiting for this. Let's wait for that candle close, like I've said, 17:30, 5:30 in the next 8 minutes. We will see how that trade plays out. So that's basically what I really wanted us to look at our past trades, the performance of our past trades, and as you can see, they've really been going pretty well. And in as much as it's August, there has been a lot of ranging, and that's why, like guys, I told you, in most cases, in actually I never trade in August. It's only that you guys, courtesy of our students, we've been doing these live Zoom sessions for them so that they can understand what we are teaching them, that we indeed are doing the same, right? So they can learn from us and build their confidence from the same. So, and that's why, like most of you now got in through the brokerage end and were able to join these Zoom sessions. Yeah, so those are the trades I was really looking at, yeah, and the outlook has been amazing, and they've really gone to script. And at times when you see your trades pan out as per your projection, you really have, you really start becoming really confident with your system, and it builds up a certain narrative in your mind, in your subconscious mind, yeah. But remember, never get caught up in euphoria. What is euphoria? Basically, when you're having a strings of wins and you feel unbeatable, and you become reckless, and we all know what happens after that. You get, at times you get to give back what you had earned from the market. So that's the outlook I was really looking at, yeah. And then now, last week also in my trading plan, I talked about something called the timing element, the one I've explained on Euro USD. If you're not in substantial profit, walk away. So over the weekend while researching, I found a quote by Paul Tudor Jones. I know if you're a trader, most likely you've heard about Paul Tudor Jones. He's a guy who's in the hedge fund industry, a guy who's inspired a lot of guys because he's been through the cycle of a trader. He gave up. He almost gave up. The dad also discouraged him to look for a real job. Those in our WhatsApp live group, I remember I sent a video on Paul Tudor Jones where he was sharing the whole being when he was in an interview with Goldman Sachs, trying to explain his journey as a trader. So we take inspirations from some of these guys because really we're in the same industries. We're in the same industry with some of these chaps. So what does Paul Tudor Jones say? When I trade, I don't just use a price stop, which is stop loss. Yeah, I also use a time stop. Remember the 2-hour stop? The guys in BTMM know what we are talking about. If I think a market should break and it doesn't, I will often get out, even if I'm not losing any money. Right? You remember, those in our trades remember how I got out of Euro USD. I booked that $30 on Euro USD and GBP USD and walked away because I really felt the market, something is not happening. And true to it, we've seen the market really did reverse. It was not that much bearish. So it is something I would really want you guys to look at, and probably add to your trading rules so that you have something on the hours. Let's say, for example, in our case, I've explained this before, if you're not in substantial profit within 2 hours, let's say you got in that M pattern, and in most cases we're getting into M patterns after the damage has been done. Yeah, guys have been stopped out, the market maker has taken their money, he has trapped other guys long or bearish. Now in the case of, let's say, like what we are looking at right now, GU, there are guys who are still long. Yeah, there's an opportunity they could end up being trapped. Yeah, so after that, what happens, right? So the market maker will shift. So if within 2 hours you're supposed to be in some good substantial profit, because the market maker doesn't want to give you guys time to book your profits. He wants to get out of that zone, right? He really wants to get out. And if you're not, then remember, this is where the time limit comes in. If there's some dilly-dally, that means he's not collected enough contracts. It's called contracts, yeah? By basically contracts, it's orders. Like, for example, I've been given this scenario. If 500 million, there's $500 million long, and some other traders are $200 million short. Where do you think the market maker will go? The market maker will go for where the $500 million is. That's where the big money is. So they use what they normally use. They induce, they trap, and then they change the trend as per. Remember, at the end of the day, they're in this business to make profit. Yeah, and I've always said this, and I think I'll do this because I realized in our last Zoom session, it didn't really show. When I was googling, and we did a simple Google, yeah, and let me see. I hope guys, if you don't see my Chrome loading, then you tell me, because I want you guys to see how, if someone tells you the market is not manipulated, then share this with them. Yeah, we all know who the market makers are. They are institutional traders and the banks. Yeah, so look at this. I'll just type something. Price banks find for forex rigging. Hata tusienda mbali, tufanye hii that Google search has brought. Look at that. I hope everyone can see that, yeah? Banks fined 1 billion euros by EU for currency rigging. As you can see, EU regulators fined 5 banks. Basically, you can see EU fines Barclays, Citi, JP Morgan, RBS, all those 7 banks face EU antitrust for forex rigging. So anyone who tells you this business is not manipulated is lying to you. And you have to understand how they manipulate it. And I've been drawing that in our last session. I did cover that, how they manipulate us, how they manipulate the trend, yeah? Shifting the trend, like what they did on USD JPY, when most traders were expecting for continuation on USD JPY, and then boom, they've really shifted that 150 pips down, and so the whole thing. So you must not, which is why, like, when you're trading, it's really important to understand who are you dealing with, who are the guys who are on the other end of your charts, right? Who's the other guy? Because basically, I've been given this scenario. GBPUSD has gone. Yeah? I was given the scenario where, like, you're looking at the guy who gives you leverage in your brokerage. When you're opening your account, like, let's use the Kenyan example, courtesy of CMA, it's capped at 1:400. That's the leverage. That's the max you can get. Who gives you that leverage? Your loan here 400, such that if you have a 10,000 account, you can take a position of 4 million. Who gives you that? Right? The broker is giving you that, but it's not him. Right? The dealer is being given that by the market makers, the banks, who also give them the price feeds. This whole price feeds is what is broker amepewa. He's just a go-between. That's why it's called a broker, between us and the banks. Yeah. So these guys, they know where our stop losses are. They know where everything. They know where our positions are, which is why I was giving that example of, if $500 million are long and 200 short, where do you think the market maker will go? They'll go where the money is. So you really need to start incorporating that manipulation and understand we are in the manipulation business. The moment you understand that, that candle has closed pretty well. And let's see on H1. I really still want a retest of that high. So unfortunately, you guys know I love having those good entries. So I really want that candle that has formed to rise up. When you call WhatsApp session here too, in our live WhatsApp group, they'll be getting this. I'll be making a follow up on this. If this trade doesn't pan out today, then tomorrow we'll be looking at probably a retest of that zone, maybe a few traps, bullish kidogo and then they reverse. So that's a trade I really wanted to look at. As you can see, after Euro USD PR. So it's done a good thing because it's formed. Yeah, it really needs to rise again for the second leg. So yeah, that's what probably I really wanted to make that presentation on the time stops. Well, that's a recap of what we did last week, and also the trades we had last week, and also to look at what GU has done, which is what we had projected it to go to that 230, and it's gone to script. Euro USD, we had anticipated these guys to go to 1925. They've gone way ahead of that. Yeah, and USD CHF, they hit our targets there also, 90.38, which was something we really looked forward to as per that red arrow. Yeah, that's basically, let's just say the trades panned out pretty well. So yeah, so yes, GU, I really want them to come back to the area so that they can give me a good entry. Remember, you guys have been saying, I don't chase GU. GU will show you flames if you chase it. It has a tendency to go back to your initial area where you had projected, but due to FOMO, which is fear of missing out, you end up trying to chase it because you believe, it's the whole trading psychology thing, yeah, where you believe you're losing out on that trade and you end up following it only for it to go back to initial target price, yeah. So I'm still patient on that trade. Let's see how GU behaves. But once again, I'm looking at that 230 as a good area where I would really want to look at those opportunities to kind of short it. But tomorrow, London session will give us a clear bias. If I look at the experiences I've had with GU, tomorrow London will give us a good outlook, because we'll have looked at the daily close, and then also we'll have looked at probably H4 and other confirmations. So that I'm looking forward to shorting XYZ USD pairs for 300, 400 pips, right? So these are positions pole. We will be working on them. So hata GU ipande, I really would want them to rise, and they will. If they play how it's supposed to, they're supposed to come back to that entry, that 230. So anyway, that's basically what I really wanted to do. I would have really wanted us guys to get into this trade, but we really don't have that much time, because we always limit this session to 30 minutes presentation and 10 minutes questions. Yeah, so at this point in time, I would really ask anyone who has a question to kindly shoot it, so that we can brainstorm. And probably if you have a currency pair, probably you would want us to look at, then we can look at it as wait for GU to come to that 230. Yeah, so anyone kindly with a question? Remember, this is one of our live accounts, yeah? So educational account. So let's see how that goes. Anyone with a question? Zach leo hayuko. Maybe Zach na card JPY yake.
Sitaki hizo stori za kadi leo. Ile maneno imeonyesha haki it has broken all rules man. Acha nikucheka by the way. Kadi imeonyesha maneno. Hata
bado ina drop.
Sitaki opea tena. Imeanza ku drop tena.
Inafaa ku drop actually. If I were to count levels on this pair, it still has another drop to do. Labda hata iguze hiyo 79.63. You can see that 79.63. Hiyo sijui nili drop lini on H1. Hiyo if haikuwa. But if I was to look at it, maybe can I delete here? You guys, I love the 800 EMA. It's a market maker area. So if I were to look at it, Zach, ipia yako, I would really want them to come hapo. Yep, That will be my anticipation.
29.38. Hey.
That's T8, yeah.
Hey.
Kwani uli over leverage account uko drawdown? Ama
Wewe wachana. Stop.
uko karibu kukula margin call, eh?
Do you know I had drawn a trend line on it, ikapita. So now I thought, now these guys have gone to a buy now. Now we are longing this thing. Kumbe in the next 1 hour they still surpassed those two. Wakarudi sasa trend line wakaitoa tena. Nikasema mimi I'm not trading this thing. Until it tells me where it's going, siingi your trade tena.
Remember what I drew up and what has happened on USD JPY, guys? Remember? Ile like MAAW, simple. Wachani tufanye kitu. Hata tuache spendagi kuongea theory mob. Natakaga just in case hakuna mse anaona, wacha tuende kwa whiteboard yangu. Basically, look at CAD JPY and USD JPY, what they did. It was simple as this, and I know you guys have been following up on this. Whiteboard ina misbehave. Itaki kukua. Kabairo kako wapi? Okay. Pole manze. Kabairo kamekata kushow up leo. Akataki manze. Baswalete Kabairo. Okay. Let me stop sharing. Let me try again. Share whiteboard. Pole guys. Seems whiteboard imekataa kuleta Kabairo kale kanakuaga hapa kaku-edit. I don't know. Anyway, sawa. But if you look at USD JPY, which is what I anticipated them guys when I had that entry on USD JPY at Nini, I really wanted them. Oh yeah. Kuna Kabairo ketu manze kakasa ketu kaku-edit. Too bad. Anyway, tomorrow nitaonyesha what I meant if Zoom ikibehave. So basically, we will be looking at CAD JPY dropping the same way Nini inafaa drop. The same way USD JPY ime drop. CAD JPY now is being held back. Kuna kitu inaitwa fractional disparity, where like market makers will hold one pair and then go trade another cross. That's a topic tutacover September. Niliwaambia September ndio mimi nakuaga na I normally have a good run. So we'll analyze those pairs pole pole when looking at the whole how fractional disparity works, where they hold a major currency, wana holdigi a major currency, let's say GBP USD, and then wana hold pia USD card, right? So combination hizo mbili ni GBP card, right? So wanaenda wana trade GBP card in a move. Ni mmewekwa tu hapo na kadoji. Most patterns have been told. Most people understand doji means indecision, and I've always nimekuwa nikirefute hiyo nikasema hakuna kitu kama indecision. Market makers they know where they're going. So indecision is only on us retail traders, but market makers they know where the market is going because they have the volumes, they have the billions. Nimeonyesha article Chrome. You guys Google forex rigging. You'll understand how these guys work. So they flash, they go play CAD JPY, they move it, and then they come back. So this is why you'll understand why. Answer, Julie, why is it that when a doji happens on a resistance or a support, why is it that in most cases it will present a reversal, right? They'll give you that 30 minutes. Kama if you're looking, let's say at a morning star or an evening star, that candlestick on M15 is a whole 45 minutes. Candle ya kwanza bullish in the case of, let's say, evening star. You have that bullish candle to form that M, right? And then you have that kadoji or spinning, whatever. And then you have the other bearish candle. A whole 45 minutes. Within those 45 minutes, they will move another pair. Next month, we will look at that. What I mean when we say these guys have a way of manipulating the market to their own advantage. So, tuone jiuka imepanda. Silikuwa nimewambia usiwahi chase GU. So each trade, let's see, bahati mbaya wenye wako WhatsApp live trading yetu they'll miss out on this one. If this setup gives me what the other confirmations I'm looking at, then we are shorting GU from that area. So let's see how that trade plays out. Anyway, so guys, time. Kuna mtu mwingine na swali? We got like 2 more minutes. We close it up. But Zach, JPY, I really would want them to still do that drop kiasi, and then they kind of like reverse from that end. But let's see. That's my projection. Remember, we are not in the business of predicting. Twice Kemsa anasema they are predicting the forex market. That's a red flag. We just project, you know, and anticipate for your projection to play out. So, yeah. Is there any other question? So GU is headed to that 230. They retest that zone, and then if they give us good candlesticks, when your WhatsApp, I'll update you so that we can drop with it. But it so far it has given confluences cover. So we'll see how that plays out. Otherwise, if you guys don't really have another question, let's meet up Kesho, and yeah, we'll see how trades play out. But remember, Mimi, I'm scaling down on my trades. Like I said, we at this point in time, market makers are now, some are coming back to the forex market. The holidays coming, the mana next week will not be available because of the random moves that will be happening. You guys will watch for yourselves. That is if they do what they've been doing over the years. Yeah, so you'll see some moves you don't explain, and yeah, they'll be trapping and inducing guys into taking wrong positions. So that's about it. So Jiga, kindly, Manze, if there's no question, Manze, you can close it up, and
right,
kindly send us this Zoom session or WhatsApp yetu watu wa review wenye hawajaweza kuattend.
All right.
So guys, have a good one. Cheers. Let's patana kesho.
Cheers.
Okay.